Before we get in the video, please like, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, go ahead and leave a comment below, and click on the How You Can Help, which brings up the Family Friendly Game website and gives you lots of ideas how you can help us. Thank you. Hey everybody, Paul Berry, Family Friendly Gaming, and I'm going to do an FFG Chronicles on why I believe all media should purchase their games. Now, I want to kind of preface this with, I believe it should be games that have a value to them. And when you talk about disposable games with like digital download codes, and they have no value to them. You know, unfortunately, they just don't. And that's my opinion, and I've given that opinion in other videos. When it comes to actually, like, say, physical copies of games, products, systems, whatever, I believe company or media outlets should all have to purchase them at cost. So you might notice that games will be selling for, you know, I don't know, maybe $40, and then eventually they come down to 20, and you go, wait a minute, how could they do that? Well, that meant the production costs were less than 20. In fact, I saw this when I worked retail at Egghead Software when I was in college. And what would essentially happen with it is, you know, the company would sell to the store. I remember it was like Duke Nukem for $34, and then the store would sell it for $50. So the store was doing a markup to make, you know, extra money. Because, you know, along the way, if you ever looked at the retail chain, how it all works, and you know, products are selling, the companies are selling it to the stores for less than the stores are selling. So everyone along the way is trying to make some money off of it. And so I think that media should have to purchase them at cost, and there should be like a place to register. Not only you know, purchasing of the games, but also when we talk about, say, like companies advertising, it'd be nice if there was like just some big kind of conglomerate area where all different media outlets could bid on getting advertisements from different companies. Companies would go there and say, hey, you know, we have a game coming out. Let's say Nintendo or Sega or Sony or Microsoft has a game coming out, and you know, we're looking to you know, get some ads going, so we get some, you know, generate some awareness of our product. I think there's something like, if y'all have ever heard of Indie Boost, Catapult through Indie Boost, we do lots of sponsored videos for them. It's the same thing. So a company says, a lot of these indie companies say, hey, we want someone to play our game, and we want you to kind of focus on these points while you play our game, do a sponsored video or live stream of our product, and here's the kind of things about it, here's information about it, and then each content creator, each channel goes to Indie Boost and says, okay, I'm going to bid, you know what, I'll pay 60 minutes, and I want to be paid $60 for that. And they can do a counter offer if they want, and you can say, yes, I want to accept their counter offer, or no. They might, you know what, I don't want you to play just half an hour, so why don't you do half an hour for $30 type of deal. You know, if you're going $1 a minute for your work, that type of deal. And you might be like, well, why would they even say that all media should do this? Okay, here's the thing. I have been in video game media since 2005, okay? I'm recording this in 2021. You do the math, you figure out, it's been a while. I've noticed over and over and over and over and over again, too many people in gaming media are totally out of touch. Completely out of touch. And you can read the articles, you can read some of the reviews and be like, they don't really realize, with all the problems they're mentioning, that this game should not be worth $60, right? And one of the questions we always ask here at Family Friendly Gaming is, how much would you pay for this game? What do you think the value of this game is? And if you notice, we don't just put these things out there, we're practicing what we're preaching, because we're buying many of the video games. We do get some products here and there from companies that are not digital downloads. We do get plenty of digital downloads, we have plenty of digital download codes offered to us, and there just isn't enough time or financial resources to cover all of them, unfortunately. But since we buy a lot of them, I can sit there and play a game and go, this isn't worth $60, this isn't worth $50, this isn't worth 40. I mean, maybe worth 20, maybe. And I think the problem with a lot of gaming media outlets is they get completely out of touch because they don't have to pay for them. They don't have to think about, all right, you know, I have to budget for this, and I only have so much money, and I can't sit there and buy this game. You know, let's say someone out there has $60 to buy some games, right? And they might be like, okay, for $60, what can I get? And you might go get some brand new game on the Xbox Series X, PS5, or you could go get quite a few retro games or indie games. I mean, with say Evercade selling $20 a cartridge that has lots of games in it. Well, you know, so if you got, let's say you got 3 Evercade cartridges, and there was, I don't know, say 20 and 1, 10 and 1, 20 and a third. I mean, you're getting lots of games, and the odds are of those games you'll find something you like. You know, that you'll not have wasted the $60 on, you know, let's say like, I think I gave an example, like 57 games, and nothing there is anything worth your time. I mean, you should get some kind of enjoyment out of something out of all of that, you know. And the same goes for if you went to like a local retro gaming store or Goodwill, and you found something, you're like, oh hey, here's a Switch game for $5 or a Switch game for $10, you know. If you're patient, you can get more for your money. That's kind of my thing there. But how many gaming media outlets do you hear that concept from, right? No. And you know why you're not hearing that concept, don't you? Think about this. Think. Put your thinking caps on. Come on, think about this. Why wouldn't they tell you to go buy a bunch of retro games that are great fun that you could spend less money on? You know why, don't you? Because too many gaming media outlets are in the bag for the video game companies. Think about this, the video game companies are advertising new games, right? So many of the video game outlets are pushing those. Since they don't have to pay for them, their concept, their perception of the cost is not there. They're just thinking, hey, this is part of my job because they're paying us advertisements. So we give them a nice review, we say how great the game is, we tell people to go buy it. You know, it's not what I would define as unbiased, because if you think about it, they're very biased. They're in many times very bought off, and I think it hits that kind of perception for them. When they look at it, they don't even think about this, right? To them, it's just how business is done. And where I come from a completely different moral and ethic honor system with integrity, and say, no, that shouldn't be how things are. And so I think if they had to pay for that cost, let's say they had to go pay $15, $20 for the $60 game, right? And they might be like, huh, you know, with all these bugs and glitches, they get closer to the things we've said, and it's like, I don't think this is worth $30. Maybe it's worth 20, maybe 25, but it's not worth 60. You know, think about how many times you try to play the game and it's constantly trying to update, or there's a new patch. They're fixing something over and over and over again. You know, you go, wait a minute, this is kind of lame. I've spent all this, you know, money on something, and now I can't even use it. You know, those kinds of thoughts and that mentality, I don't believe is there from the majority of gaming media. And if you have examples of where they're getting it right, please leave a comment below. I mean, I have met some, very, very rare, that do get the concept, and they are into retro games. Many of them, though, are also, you know, in retro gaming sites. So they're not really kind of pushing the new stuff, they're just focusing on the old stuff, so of course they're going to promote whatever they're covering. Whereas we're going to sit there and promote all kinds of different things. And I said, if I had the time, I'd sit there and get a lot more coverage out there. We've had some people say we're some of the hardest working YouTubers they know, and we certainly try, and we have a long way to go. But for me, it's all about the perception and the mentality and the focus, you know, because we will get advertisers and we'll focus on them for a little bit, and then we move on. You know, we're not just stuck there, and I think that's what's happened in the culture of too much video game media. Like I said, I would love some kind of just little conglomerate marketplace space where gaming media can sit there and go register, and it's got legit registration, not where they're trying to discriminate against Christians or discriminate against conservatives or discriminate against media outlets they don't like, but they actually are like open and honest, like, hey, if you're covering games, look at all the work you've done. A new site comes up, maybe the new site has to do stuff for, I don't know, a quarter or two, maybe half a year, maybe 6 months, or they have to sit there and have a body of work to sit there and show this is what we've done. I said it could be done if they wanted to, and of course the other thing is you have to get a lot of the gaming media, the video game companies on board with that. The gaming media would be forced to just go along with it. For me, I mean, it wouldn't matter to me because we're already buying them. We're already buying them retail, and we're paying tax. Even though technically, according to our business license, and everything, we're not supposed to be paying tax. We do pay tax on these. So that's another little kind of caveat. We're doing more than we need to, and should have to do, but we don't really mind. Like I said, God's blessed us with the money to be able to purchase these games, so we might as well do that. And then I can sit there and go, I don't think this is worth $50. Sorry, Nintendo. Sorry, Sony. Sorry, Microsoft. That's my opinion. And I wonder how many more gaming media would do that if they actually had to pay for them themselves, right? Or if their media outlet had to pay for them. They might be like, well, wait a minute. You might see them not cover some stuff because they're like, yeah, we don't want to spend the resources on that game. Then that would allow other media outlets like Family Friendly Gaming to really focus on what we focus on. They wouldn't be covering them. People would be like, well, why go spend time on Kotaku or IGN when they're not covering what we want to see? You see what I'm saying? Like, if they're going to just focus, and they already do focus tons on the M games and ignore a lot of the kids games and the family friendly games, you would see coverage even drop more on that because they would sit there and show who they really are, and they're not for everyone. So anyway, that's my thoughts on why I think every gaming media outlet should have to purchase games themselves. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!